Welcome back. In the previous videos, we set up Sophia Carter's user profile and the Brindle & Co. Estates company profile. We also configured the company structure, roles, and permissions. Now we're ready to start using the platform. In this video, we'll look at the library page. This is where your work is organized, accessed, and managed. The library is where your resources live, such as posts, leads, appointments. For this walkthrough, we'll focus mainly on the post resource, so we can see how objects are created, organized into folders, assigned, and turned into a simple content pipeline. When you open the library page, you'll see your resources displayed as tiles. Right now, we have 3 resources showing: post, lead, and appointment. Each tile represents a different type of object in the workspace. Posts are for content, leads are for sales opportunities, and appointments are for scheduled meetings. The library gives you a shared place to see these resources, check their status, and open the objects inside them. For this video, we're going to focus on posts, so I'll hide the lead and appointment tiles for now. To hide a tile, click the small X in the corner. This does not delete the resource or remove any data. It only changes what is visible on the library page, so you can focus on the area you are working on. If you want to add hidden resources back, you can use the plus tile. This lets you bring resources back into view whenever you need them. Below the tiles, you'll also see controls for the library layout. Right now, the grid is set to 3 columns, which works well when several resources are visible. Because we have hidden some resources now, I'm going to change the layout to 2 columns. This gives the post tile more space, making it easier to work with the objects inside it. Now let's look at the actions on the post resource. These buttons are resource-level actions, which means they apply to the post resource as a whole. The plus button creates a new post. The filter button helps you narrow down what is shown. Import lets you bring posts in from another source. Export lets you take post data out. Share lets you share the resource or view. And Settings opens the configuration for this resource. These controls are the main ways to manage the post resource from the library. Before we create a post manually, notice the recommendation at the top of the tile. It currently says Discover Post Topics. This is Chat Damon's way of suggesting the next useful step. Because there are no posts yet, the platform knows that the first useful action is probably to come up with some topics. So instead of using the buttons directly, you can also follow the recommendation and work conversationally. To create a new post manually, click the plus button in the Post Resource Actions. This creates a new object inside the post resource. You can now see an unnamed post listed inside the tile. Notice that the recommendation has also changed. It no longer says Discover Post Topics. It now says Progress Draft Posts. That is because the state of the resource has changed. We now have a draft post, so Chat Damon adapts its recommendation to the next useful action. Now let's open the post object. Click the unnamed post, and you'll see the Object tab appear on the right. Click the Details tab to open the full details. This pane is where you view and update the selected object. It is not only used on the library page, the same object pop-up appears across the platform whenever you are working with objects. At the top of the pane, we can update the object name. I'm going to rename this post Introduction. The name helps identify the object in the library, in folders, in search, and anywhere else the post appears. Below the name, you also have the description area, where you can add more context about what the post should be about. We'll cover this details pane at greater depth in a separate video. But for now, the main things to understand are the name, description, actions, and status. The actions in this pane are object-level actions. These are different from the resource actions we saw earlier. Resource actions apply to the post resource as a whole, but object actions apply to this specific post object. For all objects, we have actions such as new, delete, connect, research, submit, assign, and more actions. In more actions are those specific to the post resource like publish. Instead of typing out a full post manually, we're going to assign this object. The assign action lets you hand responsibility for an object to a person or to AI. In this case, we'll assign the introduction post to the AI, Chat Damon. We can also set a desired status, which tells the assignee what outcome we want. For this post, we'll choose to progress it to the composed status, then confirm the action. Once the post is assigned, you'll see a robot face on the object. This indicates that the AI is actively working on it. While that runs in the background, we'll use the library to organize the post resource into folders. I have created 2 more post objects. We will use these as folders for different types of content. First, I'll call one commercial. Then I'll call the other residential. This gives Sophia a simple structure for separating business property content from home moving content. Now I'll add a short description to commercial. The description is important because it gives the platform context about how posts inside this object should be created. For commercial, we'll keep it short, professional tone for landlords, investors, and business clients. Focus on market value, confidence, and clear next steps. Now we'll do the same for residential. This one should have a slightly different style because the audience is different. For residential, we'll use friendly tone for buyers, sellers, and tenants. Focus on trust, helpful guidance, and making moving feel simple. These short descriptions help guide the content of the posts we add to this folder. To turn these into folder-style objects, we'll add subposts. Click the New Subpost action, and you will notice a folder icon appear in the object. You can click the folder icon to see the subposts within. I'll then do the same for commercial. This creates a hierarchy, where the folders provide context for a series of posts. Now we can assign a whole folder to the AI. I'll assign commercial to Chat Damon with the desired status composed. Because commercial now contains subposts, this means Chat Damon becomes responsible for progressing the work inside that folder. This is useful when you want the AI to manage a whole group of related objects, not just one individual post. Now let's go back to the original introduction post and see what Chat Damon has done. Notice it has taken some research notes, generated some content for social media, as well as a longer blog post. We requested a status of composed, and it has composed a post for us. We don't have to stop there, though. Let's assign the residential folder with a desired status of published. Now, every time we add a post to the residential folder, Chat Damon will decide a topic, do some research, compose the content, finalize the content, and publish it. We can then make use of the post settings. Under automations, we can add simple automation rules, like creating a new post once a day. Click Add Automation, on schedule, daily at 9 o'clock, create an object in the residential folder. When you confirm that, you now have a fully automated pipeline. Once a day, it will add an object to the residential folder, which Chat Damon will then generate and publish. This is the main purpose of the library page. It is not just a place to store objects. It is where you organize the structure of your work. We've seen how to manage resource tiles, use resource actions, follow Chat Damon recommendations, create and update objects, organize posts into folders, assign work to AI, and set up an automation. In the next video, we'll move to the overview page, where you can see what is happening across the workspace at a higher level. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.